I watch a lot of YouTube channels, and everyone has their own particular way and style of, well, creating content, including myself. One channel that I do watch a lot of, though, is the Philip DeFranco Show, and they have a particular style with their lower thirds. So let's find out how we can recreate this iconic line sort of lower third style that we see in these videos in After Effects. So we're in a brand new project and we'll start with a new composition. We'll call this our lower third and we'll create it at 804 by 155. Now I'll do 25 frames per second and I'll make the duration about 30 seconds. We'll drop it in here and we're going to start off by creating some boxes. So in this case I'm going to click on my rectangle tool or hit Q and just drag out a box like so. It doesn't need to be perfect. I'll set the stroke to 0 because I want it just to be a box. And what I will do is I will grab the pan behind tool for the anchor point, or you can hit Y. I'm just going to drag that point to the right hand side to the rightmost edge of our little box here. Now the other thing I'll do is I'll change the color of this, and I can do this by going Contents, Rectangle, Fill. And I'm just going to click on the color, and for this one we're going to make it like a blue color. So I've got a code here, 989AC1. It kind of gives us that soft blue color. Now to animate this, we're going to have it both whiz across the screen and also shrink in size. So to do that, I'm going to be using position and scale. So I'll hit P for position, and I'll hold Shift and hit S as well to bring up the scale. Now I'm going to unclick the constrained proportions on the scale because I only want to scale in the horizontal, and then dragging it in here so I can see a bit more of my timeline in a bit more detail. I'm going to keyframe the position and the scale and move it forward a second, and then I'm going to click on the scale horizontal scale or the width scale and hit 0. I'll also keyframe the position, and I'll go back to the start where my first keyframe is, and then I'm just going to, with my selection tool, drag it all the way off the screen like so. So you'll see if we hit space and preview that, it kind of does this simple animation, but we want to do some easing just so we get a bit more visual as to what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my two position keyframes and hit F9, or you can right click, hit keyframe assist and hit easy ease, and you'll see that gives it a little bit more time. And what I'll do as well is on this scale I'll hit easy ease just for the last one, and you can see it kind of comes in there like so, eases in and then disappears. Now what's good about this is we can use this same animation to be able to do a number of the different animations that happen. So for instance, we can duplicate this, drag it forward a little bit like so. So now we've got two that are happening. We could even drag out or move forward or change the size of this particular animation as well. And we can change the color. So we'll go to Contents, Rectangle, Fill, and change it to white. And in here we're going to go to the rectangle path as well, go to the size, unclick the proportions, and then just drag it a little bit wider like so. And we can even make it a bit longer like that. We just need to go in here and drag our position key point or our anchor point. We'll go to hit A for anchor point actually, and we'll just drag it along so that that right edge lines up. So now we've got an even bigger animation that can happen, and it zooms across like so, and you can see that sort of movement going on there. Now what we'll do is we'll also duplicate this keyframe again. You can see here we've got our small little one, and we'll do something similar again. So we'll drop it down, go to Contents, Rectangle, the Fill, and change it to white. And we're also going to go into the rectangle path, the size, and just make it a little bit smaller. Now for this one, what we're going to do is actually move it up. So we can click on our position, click to the keyframe, and then click on the actual position property, and that'll select both. And now when I drag it, I can drag a property and it'll adjust it for all the keyframes that I've got selected. So that way I'm not trying to do new keyframes or anything like that. I could just realign it like so. And for this one, I'm actually going to time reverse keyframes. So it's going to come from one side and go to the other. Now the other thing I need to do is shift my anchor point from it being on the left to being on the right, like so. And now it zooms across the other way, which is what I want it to do. I'll drag it forward, so now you've got that coming, you've got that coming across. We'll duplicate this again, move it back a bit, and again, a new color this time. So in this case, we're going to go and pick a reddish color, or like a pinkish color, like so. And then we'll also go to the rectangle path, the size, and make it a bit bigger now. So now we've got a bunch of different things kind of shooting across the screen like so. Now the other thing we can do is say grab this blue one and actually do two of them on top of each other. So I'll duplicate our blue one again, drag it forward so it kind of zooms in a bit afterwards like here. I'll make the color white, change the rectangle size again to be slightly smaller, and I might just go in there and move the anchor point up a little bit and then duplicate it, and then on that one move the anchor point down. So now it's got like a couple of them come in together like so. So we've got all this movement going on. Now we'll bring the text in now, and what I'm going to do for the text is just use the standard Arial. We'll go bold, and we will click it down. Just type our words, Media Workbench. We'll make it a bit, we'll go black. Black seems like a good one. So we'll go black, we'll scale it out to fit our sort of space like so. And we're going to animate this in. Now I'm going to move it to the bottom of our stack of layers here, so that all these line animations kind of happen underneath. I'm going to say that it's probably going to start around here coming in. So I'll hit P for position and keyframe and move it all the way off to the side. And then I'll move it forward to about here. I think it'll come in like so. And then I'm going to hit the F9 to add in the easing into it just there. Now what I will do on this one is actually go over to our character window and swap the fill and stroke so that it's just a stroke like so. Then I'm going to duplicate it, drag the second one down and underneath, and then swap it back and choose a different color. So in this case we're going to do like a red, like a gray red, like so. And this one I'm actually going to add in a animation. So I'm going to go into Effect, Transition, Linear Wipe, and this is going to let us sort of wipe this animation in. So on the wipe angle we'll go to -90. We'll feather it out a fair bit, and then we'll put it all the way to transition completion 100%. We'll drag it forward to kind of where we want the red to start animating in, and then we'll drag it forward to say about there and drag it through to be 0. So you can see now that we're kind of getting our text coming in and animating in. If we find that transition isn't slow enough, we can adjust the keyframes like so. And what we might do is go into the easing for our text, click on the graph editor, and then just on this little handle down here, if we select it, we can drag it out, and that's just going to make it a bit slower easing into where the text actually appears. So it just seems a bit more natural, a little less clunky, like so. Our final thing is we need to add in sort of that text box underneath. So for this we will grab our text tool again and we'll type some text at the bottom. We'll just say at Media Workbench. but you can put whatever you want. I'm going to go with a, we'll go bold for that. And this @ symbol is a bit crazy, so I might shrink it down using the tools I've got here in the character window, just to adjust it a little bit so it doesn't feel so monstrous. I'm going to change that to sort of a grey color, like so. So it appears at the bottom, but it also appears in this sort of white box. So we'll click off, go to our rectangle tool and draw out a white box for it, like so. And then we will keyframe this in as well. We'll grab those two, we'll drop them down to the bottom, and we'll just reposition our text, this text here, and grab the two and just adjust it just so it lines up on this left edge, like so. So it's in there. What we're going to do is find where we want to animate the box in. So it's probably in from about there is where we want it to end. We'll pop that in, and then we'll go to the side to about there, and we'll drag it all the way to the left. So now it's animated out. We'll select that last keyframe, hit F9, and again in the graph editor, we're just going to drag that out a little bit so it feels a bit more natural, same as our other way. The other thing we're going to do is find that same keyframe where we end, hit P for our actual text, and we're going to keyframe the position, go forward to that other keyframe that we had where everything's off, and we're going to slide it to the side a bit, like so. And we're going to do that same easing technique that we've used a couple times now. Now, in order to mask this in, we're going to duplicate our background box layer by hitting Ctrl D, and then we'll drag it above the media workbench little subtitle, and then in the track matte settings here, we're going to set alpha matte, and you'll see that starts to bring it back in. What we could even do is offset it slightly so you get sort of this dynamic appear disappear sort of movement going on. So if we preview that now, you can see we've got this sort of zooming in, swooshing sort of thing going on, like so. Now, one thing to note is in the actual video, this is actually kind of slanted. So what we'll do is we'll drag our composition down to create a new composition with it in it, like that. And then we're going to go to Effects, and we'll grab the Slant tool. So we'll drop it in there, and we're just going to slant it slightly. And we can make our composition a little bit bigger to be able to accommodate all this. But you can see now it kind of all zooms in, all slanted, and there you go. So there's the animation, there's our lower third coming in with its title, and it's looking pretty sweet. So there's how you create a swooshing lower third similar to what you see on the Philip DeFranco Show. Until next time, my name is Bench. Thanks for watching.